In this video, I'm going to cover an important aspect of coding, the concept of local and global scope. Imagine there's a castle, with the surrounding area made of farmland and villages. People inside the castle can see everything outside, while the people living outside can't see inside the castle. The two worlds are separated by the walls of the castle. Different programming languages deal differently with these concepts. Some are very strict, like Java and C++. Python, guess what, has its own way. Imagine that someone from outside the castle is carrying 20 apples. This person can walk around the castle and everyone can see the 20 apples. But they will need a special permit to buy them and reduce the number. Out of the metaphor, let's see how to implement these concepts in Python. I'm using Visual Studio Code in debug mode. This will allow me to run the program line by line and explain what happens and why. This red dot marks the so-called breakpoint. It's where the program will stop. I already typed the first program in which I have declared a variable, and I'm simply printing it, just to show you how the debugger works. As you can see, after I started the program, the debugger stops on the breakpoint and shows me the value of the variables involved in this line of code. The variables are also displayed in this side panel. Now let's see what happens if I change the value of the variable. As you can expect, the value changes from 5 to 10. Let's execute it step by step. Pretty straightforward, right? What if I use this variable within a function? As you can see, when the code enters the function, our variable still has value 5. It's the same variable defined in the global scope. Here's something you may expect to be allowed to do: change the value of the variable. Now look. When the program reaches this point, the variable value is 5. Python thinks we are referring to the global one, but as soon as we execute the next line, we get an error. This happens because we are redeclaring the variable within a different scope, and so it becomes local to this function. If I remove this line, everything works. But pay attention, I'm printing the variable again after the call to the function. Let's see what happens. Here we have our global variable. But as soon as I execute this line, a new local variable appears. The variable at line 1 and the variable at line 4 are two distinct entities, no matter their name. When I'm back in the main program, the variable retains its original value, unaffected by what happened locally within this function. And now the question: is it possible, within a function, to actually change the global variable? Of course it is, but I must explicitly declare it this way. Let's see it in action. Here we have our global variable, and you can see how it is the global variable that changes, as you can see here when I'm back in the main program. What you saw in the first part of the video is basically all you need to know to understand the concept of global and local scope. Now let's dive deeper in something really Pythonic. Python, differently from other languages, does not start a local scope with every block. Look at the code I just added. This variable becomes global, even if it is created within an if block. If I define a new function to print out the test variable, it will work. Let's see it in action. There's no need to declare and initialize the variable at the beginning of the script, if not for readability. For now, I will delete it. Let me show now another interesting feature. I'm declaring a new global variable within a function. Then I assign a value to it. Will it work? Let's try. Yes! When the debugger stops at line 20, our variable has a value. Now, is this what is normally called best practices? Well, no. This is actually something that is called spaghetti coding. At first, it may seem that this style of coding will save you a lot of time. For sure is true for small scripts. But it turns quickly into migraine coding the moment you need to debug large programs spread among multiple files, maybe scripts you didn't even write yourself. Code styles, anyway, are out of scope for this video. The important is that you understood the difference between global and local scope and the options that Python offers to manage this aspect of coding.